I have an audience filming today, which I'm so not used to, but my kids can see me because they're in the backyard and I'm in a different space and they keep watching me. It's making me super self-conscious. Anyway, welcome here to today's video, and it's a different one that I was not anticipating making this year at all or in the foreseeable future. This was a very spur-of-the-moment decision, but we have a new homeschool space. We are still in our same house that we've lived in for nearly 2 years now, but we totally changed our homeschool space around. And like I said, it was very spur of the moment. So I'm going to show you what it looks like now, because I know I've had a couple of requests for how it looks and what we've done differently. And just to give you an idea of how we're using it, I love watching videos like this, seeing like storage ideas and organization and stuff like that. But I want to also say that if you don't have a designated homeschool space, don't sweat it. We did homeschooling around the dining room table for years, and I was completely content with that. It was not discontentment that caused this change. I'll tell you why we did it in just a second. But I will tell you that we've been in here for 2 weeks now, using this as our homeschool room, and the challenges that we had before with homeschooling still exist now. Academically, like making sure that I am taking care of the academic needs of all 3 of my children is hard work. And that is not even to mention all the character work that we also have to do on top of that. None of that changed by switching locations. Now, it's lovely, and I love being surrounded by books. And it does make a lot more sense how we've got it laid out now, but the challenges are still there. So I just want to encourage you, if you feel like you need a specific homeschool space or you're lacking in that department, you're really not, and you can homeschool very well around the dining room table. Second, before I get into this, you're going to hear probably a lot of background noise in this video because we've had super stormy weather for the last while, and everyone in the neighborhood today is mowing their lawns, and I don't blame them. So you're going to hear that, plus you'll hear kids and stuff. And that's fine. So why did we switch homeschool spaces? Why did I make the change? It was very spur of the moment. I didn't even know if it was going to work when I first decided to do it. But the main reason was that I was considering cost savings. We have 2 living areas. There's this living area and there's our kitchen dining living area. And we've always done our school in the kitchen dining area. And in that area, there's a heat pump. In this living room, there's a wood burning fireplace, and we much prefer to use the fireplace over the winter time to heat the home. It just heats it more efficiently, and it's just a much nicer heat for the home, and electricity is very expensive. And so I was like, I wonder if we could do school in this lounge over the winter time in order to save money. We wouldn't have to use the heat pump nearly as much. So that's where the whole thing spurred from. And then my husband was like, well, we have the old dining table, because we just bought a new to us dining table from Facebook Marketplace for the to replace the one in here now. And he was like, well, why don't you see if that one fits in here? Because we hadn't sold it yet. And I was like, okay. So I did actually carry it downstairs by myself while he was at work one day, because, you know, when there's like an idea in your head and you just have to see if it'll work out, there's no, like, you can't wait till your husband gets home from work to help you carry a dining room table downstairs. I mean, like, where is the fun in that? So I definitely had some fun getting that downstairs. It didn't hurt my back, so it was fine. But it does fit in here, and it looks actually like it was meant to be in here all along. So I'm going to give you a little tour. This is our homeschool corner. So we have dining table, and these bookshelves we put in here last year. It was like my dream. I renovated this whole room last year. I'll show you a little bit more of it in a minute. But it is our TV lounge. We call it the winter lounge, which sounds really fancy. It's really not. But in the winter time, it's much warmer in this space because it's got the fireplace in here. And so it's very cozy. I've got really earthy colors in here. And we had 2 armchairs here, and so I've moved those. But we've also got the computer in here and a desk and all that. So it's very cozy and snug. It's got more of a study feel to it. So it made sense to put all of our school supplies in here. So like I said, we've just got the old dining table in here, and then I'll take you through my bookshelves so you can see how I've set them up, because I have organized it. They're not organized in minute detail. I need to do some more organizing of my books, but it was a really good opportunity for me to go through curriculum that I'm no longer using. I've got a couple of piles, which you may see, of things I need to either get rid of or like sell, pass on, that kind of thing. So it was much needed. And then I've reorganized all of our just books so the kids can easily access things. I know where things are. And then obviously all of our school supplies as well. So there's a lot there. I love the space. The other thing I really like about having our school space in here is that there's a porch that goes directly from here. We've got a big ranch slider and it goes into our backyard. So it's just a lovely outlook. We're no longer looking at the street. And it means that when I'm like working with one kid and say another kid is done with their work, they can just play in the backyard. I know where they are. I don't have to go like searching for them most of the time. And it's just much better. And I think in the winter, it'll be lovely to have the porch there. And then in the summertime, we can have the doors open and it's going to be lovely. So now I'm really excited about the space because I just never even considered this a possibility for some reason. But now that we've got it all set up, it makes a lot of sense. So without further ado, shall I give you a look around the room first? I'll give you kind of a broader look around the room, and so you can see how it all fits in. And then we'll go over how I've set everything up in here. I'm going to go find my glasses now so I can actually see what I'm doing though. Okay, so to give you an idea of how the room works, there's like a hallway out there that goes through to the rest of our house. And then this is our little homeschool corner. And the dining room table, our old dining room table, and we had those chairs already. So I haven't bought anything new for this space. This is all existing stuff. You can see I told you there was going to be a pile of stuff there. Over here, we've got a little desk and computer setup that was also already in here. I was very adamant that we would not have screens in our other living area. I wanted like a screen-free living area. So that is why the computer and TV are both in this room. And it also just makes it easier for me to monitor all the activities going on. And then we have the fireplace in the corner there. So very cozy, really lovely. And then on this side of the room, we have my husband's ginormous telescope that was given to him by my grandfather. So he keeps that in here because it's easy for him to take it outside. And then we have our TV space, and this I did last year. It's not completely done, like I need to do the ceiling lights. This space was 2 bedrooms once upon a time, and then it was opened up and they added the second story to the house. So it's a little bit funny with the placement of things like lights. This big header beam, I stripped back. It was completely painted over, and I stripped back and stained it and everything last year. That was a massive job, but it was so worth it. And then everything else has slowly been done, like all the paneling on the walls and painting. It was all just gray and white in here before. And I redid the coffee table. And then this has been my Hope chest that I've had since I was a little girl, and I redid that so it was in a nice dark stain. So yeah, this is our family room. Obviously, I've picked it up. Usually it's messy in here because it's a very highly used space. So there's that. And then I'm just going to give you a peek. I'm not showing you much because the porch is a mess, and so is the backyard right now. But basically it goes out to the backyard there. So you can see it all swings around like this. It's a nice L shape. So that's the layout of the room. And then this table is not huge, and that's why we actually just got a new table for us, because we wanted more space to entertain when we have people over. So this is very much a 6-seater tops, but even then it's tight. So it works perfectly for just the 4 of us for school. I'm thinking of repainting the base because it's like a minty green color, and it kind of does not go with the nice olive dark green I've got on the wall. So I need something a little bit more earthy. I've got a nice beige paint that I could use for that. So let's come over here, and I've set this up. It may change over time because this is a very new space to me. So I'm just going to show you what I've done for now, and it's working so far, but like I said, it may change. Right, so I'm going to work from the bottom up. Down here, I have my kids' workbooks that they use on a daily basis. So this is my son's, and I've got my middle daughter, and then my youngest over there, and then they've also got their spelling folders in there. So those things we pull out every day, and then I can easily put them away for them. we've got pencil cases over there. I've also got my homeschool planner and my pencil case, and then some like science notebooks and my daughter's music theory book. So that's all stuff we use on a daily basis, and I just pull it out from there. Nice and easy. Up here, I've got all of our All About Spelling and All About Reading activity folders. So we've got a lot at the moment. School's very full on with 3 kids at the moment. So that's where I keep those, and I do usually pull from those often daily. Our hands-on history kit, and then I've got just like some teacher manuals there that either I've just finished for the year or we're moving on to the next one. It's just handy for me to have them right there. On the next one, I have all of our family read alouds and also labeled read alouds for Sunlight readers. Those are all there. Pencil case, and then all of our All About Spelling and All About Reading card boxes are here. If you're wondering where these are from, I'll try, I cannot promise, but I'll try and remember to link them. These are from Temu, and they fit the cards perfectly. And then I just made my own dividers and put in like a couple sponges in there just to keep them upright. Works beautifully. I think they're about $5 each or something like that, but nice cost-effective solution. And then just some coloring pencils I keep there. I need to top those up. My girls are constantly coloring in, so things go walkabout a lot. Right, I am so out of breath today. I've been running up and down stairs, so trying to catch up. Anyway, this next shelf I have All About Reading readers, BJU Press readers. This is our math binder, so like just different manipulatives. I've got the kids All About Reading sticker charts in there as well. And then these I use daily too. So I've got our science curriculum. I've got my teacher manuals in this one. Morning time stuff in there. By morning time, I mean like our enrichment studies. And then I've got history things in there, like our Book of Centuries and my Sunlight history reader, our hands-on history, whatchamacallit, manual, whatever. It's got all the different project instructions in there. And then I've got our history spines that we're currently using here. And then All About Reading and All About Spelling teacher manuals are all sitting there. So this stuff I pull from daily and use it a lot. These are just some reference books that I've got up there that are quite fun, some poetry books. This is where I keep math manipulatives that we use a lot. So those are just in a basket there. These are some more readers that my son's using this year. And then these are past Sunlight readers, so ones that we've used in the past that we're not using this year, but I've just got them all up there. I don't want them to be easily accessed by my kids because I'm so scared I'm going to lose something, you know? And then at the top, I've got a bunch of poetry books and some more Sunlight readers. And then just some pretty china and decorative stuff up there. That china and stuff is going to be moved eventually. I'm actually working on creating a china cabinet for it all, but for now, it looks pretty in here. But eventually there will be more books in here. So let's go down now. Down here is a bit of a mess. I've got some old Sunlight readers down here, like preschool and pre-K stuff, and some old teacher's manuals. This is all curriculum and resources that I'm not currently using, but may use in the future. So that's all in there. I've got I've got this beautiful Claude Monet book of art, and then some poetry books there. Anyway, and then along here I have like readers for the younger years. So I've got my Abeka readers there. I've got some old, I've got the Good, the Beautiful readers. And then these are like early chapter books, like Magic Tree House and the Magic School Bus. I've got some Dick and Jane readers in here. So if, like Annie specifically, she's 8 years old and she really enjoys those kinds of books at the moment. So I've got those there. And then I'll show you, the rest is all books, but I've got them organized a specific way. So I'll show you how I've done that. This shelf now is all Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton is one of my favorite children's authors. I grew up reading her books and I just love them. And so right now we've got a shelf full of her books. I'm sure we'll get more over time, but love her things. Jack's read a lot of the Secret 7 books. He really enjoys those. This next shelf does not have a lot on it. I've got my Christmas books here. So they're there's like Christmas poems. And then like I've got A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Just some random Christmas books I've like collected over the years from thrift stores and stuff. I keep it there so that when we do come to that time of year, I've got things I can pull from. This book here is a gorgeous vintage find that I got from a thrift store last year, and I just love it so much. I don't want my children to touch it though because it's too fragile, but it's got this gorgeous like pop out pictures, and so I just have it up here for display because it's really pretty. And then more random pretty things that I have up here. These little, I think my daughter was playing with these because they've all been knocked over. So just random stuff that I've gotten from my grandmother or my husband's grandmother, like lots of things like that. This is my old nursing anatomy and physiology book, and I don't know why I still have it, but I do, and I just don't want to get rid of it. It's just really cool. My kids, I was born in KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa, and so I found this in a thrift store here in New Zealand, and I was like, I'm going to get that because it's got some great pictures in it, so we can look through that. Then I've just got some more pretty things, silver displayed, and up here, more pretty stuff. One day these will all be filled with books, but right now they're just display. This is the Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and I like to have that on display because it's fun. All right, let's go down to the next shelf. Down here, I've got just random kids' books. I need to go through these a bit more because we're not going to keep all of these. And an old hymnal. I've got our Bible storybooks by, I think it's Arthur Maxwell, I think. Anyway, and just some more classic books there. Then I have Laura Ingalls books here. I'm actually missing a few at the moment because my son grabbed like 3 of them. He wanted to start reading them, so he's got some in his room. Up here is where I'm keeping all of my like historical fiction. These are all like the diary style books or the Who Was books. Like you've got Who Was King Tut. I've been trying to collect some that are specific to New Zealand, like this one. This one is like down in Otago. So whenever I find these at thrift stores, I just buy them because they're so, so good for my kids. So that's the shelf for that. Then I have missionary stories up here. Again, I think I've got a few more that aren't in here at the moment, but those are missionary stories. And then just display. And then up there, I've got like my books. Like there's gardening books and random stuff up there. Down here, we've got music. I am a pianist and I've got a lot of music in there. And random kids books that, again, I need to go through. Down here, I have kind of tried to style these or organize these so it's like boys and girls stuff. So this one is for boys, and I haven't gone through and like put authors together yet. I need to do that, but that's so my son can quickly just grab things. And of course, it's not like my girls can't grab boy things and my son can't grab the girl books. It's just to make it a little bit more easy to find. This is the girls' shelf, which is funny. I've got a lot of Louisa May Alcott's books. I love her books. I love, like, everyone knows Little Women, but if that's all you've read from Louisa May Alcott, you are missing out. She has got some fantastic writing. My favorite book of hers is An Old-Fashioned Girl. I can't wait to read that one with my kids. Just really love it. I've got a lot of Nancy Drew books in there and like What Katie Did. Lady Grace Mysteries. I've got one of these, but these were like some of my favorite books when I was a kid. So looking forward to get more of those. Up here is classics, and I've got 2 shelves of this. So, you know, it's kind of self-explanatory, but I need to actually organize these by author. Like I've got these mostly put together, all my Narnia books, Jane Austen books, Charles Dickens. I've got a lot of those, and then more up here as well of classics that I've collected. And the ones up there are just like random books. I need to go through some of these as well because some of them are given to me and I haven't even looked at them. I love these 2, and I'm about to order the 3rd one. If you haven't read any of Abby Halberstadt's books on motherhood, you are missing out because they're pretty amazing. And then up the top, we've got our globe as well. So those are our bookshelves, and it's working out really well so far. So in the other lounge, I do still have we do like our, not lounge, but at the dining room table over breakfast, we still do our read aloud and Bible and stuff like that. And so I need to get a little basket for those things. It's only like 3 books, so it's not a big deal. So those are still in the other lounge. And then I still have a cupboard in there where I've got like watercolors and craft supplies. We don't have a ton of them, but we do have some. And so when I need those, I can just bring them in here. But it is nice to be able to set up in here and have that space more for just like quiet time in the evening. I'm really enjoying the setup, how it is right now. I like how everything's handy, and like once I've tidied up my kitchen in the morning after breakfast, like that space stays fairly tidy throughout the day now, which is really lovely. Whereas before I was like picking up both living areas every day. So yeah, I will let you know how it goes if I change anything. I'm looking forward to when winter comes in a couple months. Usually we light our first fire in May. So we've still got a little while because it's just the end of April, but I'm sure we'll get some cold weather soon. And it will be so cozy in here. And also I will be less apt to letting the fire go out, because I would, like, my husband would light the fire and then we'd go do school, and I had to remember to keep coming in here to put more wood on the fire, and then sometimes I would forget. So I'm anticipating it being a lot easier to maintain this winter because I'll actually be in this room and it just won't be so miserably cold. Like, I would use the heat pump, but because I was so aware of the cost, I used it minimally, but also I'm miserable when I'm cold. So it's not a great solution or situation. So this should be a lot better. Anyway, if you have any questions about anything you've seen, let me know, and I'll do my best to answer. Again, reiterating, if you do not have a beautiful homeschool space with big bookshelves, it's fine. It really is fine, and you can still have a fantastic homeschool experience. It's what I've done for years and years and years. In our old house, we had barely any homeschool space. It was very tight, and I had to keep most of our supplies in like plastic totes in the garage because I couldn't fit them in my house. So even to be able to have all my homeschool supplies in a space like this feels like a massive privilege, and I'm very grateful for it. Yeah, anyway. Thank you for watching. I feel a bit rambly in this video. I hope that it was fun for you to see, though, where we're set up. I do have a bit of wall space in this corner that I haven't got anything up on. I have some old magnetic blackboards. I think they got damaged in the move, though. I need to go check. They're out in the garage. If it's still okay, I think I might hang one of those up so that I can put up like our like picture study that we're doing for like a couple weeks at a time. So we've got that up. That would be fun. And I could write like poems or Bible verses or whatever on those. So I need to look at that. I'm terrible about hanging things up. It takes me forever to make up my mind. And then I just drag my feet about doing it because I want everything to be perfect. And then I just don't do it, which is not ideal. But if you've got ideas for stuff on the wall, let me know. You've kind of seen the whole room now. So it's got kind of more of that like cozy, earthy vibe to it, which is so not what I typically flock to. I'm usually like blues and light and airy, but for this room, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, it'd be fun to sort of play into that. Maybe do the more aesthetic Charlotte Mason Montessori homeschool, you know, in here, which I'm not usually, I just don't care about that kind of stuff. It looks really pretty to look at, but the reality of homeschooling is that it's usually pretty messy and not so pretty all the time. But anyway, that's it. I'm still rambling on. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.